Hey guys. Hi. Let's have a conversation today. We're going to talk about coloring with AI. And so a few weeks ago, I sent out a coloring page to my community. I don't know. Oh, yeah, here it is. I sent out a coloring page to my community, just this little thing. Roxy the Uni. Roxy is the mascot for my membership. And I just sent out a little coloring page kind of as a little fun activity. And I got a lot of questions about creating coloring pages. And so this is Roxy is AI generated, right? And I just put it on a coloring page, sent it out as a PDF, and people loved it. People loved it. And then I started to hear all of these challenges people are having with like coloring pages. They're like, we're in a lot of different communities, but they don't share the pages for coloring prompts. And so coloring, let me just set your mind at ease. Coloring is a little bit more complicated than getting full color pictures, right? Because it's the process of removing the color from images where the image generators are designed to create colorful focus images. Okay. And so a lot of you guys want to know how I do it. So I'm going to share a few things that I've had to shift and change in order to get coloring pages. But let me just show you some of the things that I've created. And I'm going to share my screen. Okay. All right, and so these are just some of the images I created. As you can see, these look a lot like Roxy. They're kind of like kid coloring books, but there's so many options, right? So there's what we find is that even adults like low detail coloring books. So these can sell for adults and for children. However, some adults want a more detailed coloring image. And so it would be something more like this. You got a solid background, but you've got a mandala in the background. My prompts are relatively simple. But once you find a prompt, a master prompt, which is what I call it, then it's a matter of just changing the subject and you can continue to use the same thing. So, for those of you who want to create coloring books versus just a coloring page, once you get a style, you can continue to go. So, for example, I had to prompt color cupcakes to kind of see what texture I wanted. And then I was able to go in and look at the black and white cupcakes and just create a bunch of them with a similar background or similar look. Okay. Here's some other ones that I did. These are also kind of textured patterns. Zen Doodle is one of the ones that I like to use. But let me tell you how I'm able to do people because it seems like when it comes to coloring pages, animals and cartoons are the easiest. When it comes to creating people, that's a little more complex. And so the way that I've been able to do people is that I had to change my prompt structure. Okay, I had to change my prompt structure. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and talk a little bit about the prompt structure. So I created this document. So when I first started doing AI, right, first started creating AI images, I did notice that there was a method to the madness in terms of where you put what in the prompt. Okay. But what I also found was when I changed, what the websites and the internet was telling me, when I changed to a different structure and put things in a different order, I got better results. Okay. So when I started making changes, I got better results. By the way, I have a class coming up, right? And there's a link in the comments. I have a class coming up that's going to teach you guys basically how to put together the images. It's called Color by AI. The class is coming up on the second and third of March. Okay, so it's a 2-day boot camp where I'm going to go in details about that. But let's go back to the prompt structure. Okay, and this document is part of what you get in the boot camp because it is really a robust document. But I'm going to talk about it just a little bit today with the prompt structure. So the first thing that you've got to do, and I'm going to show you this in an actual prompt. The first thing that you have to do is, let me share my screen again. The first thing you got to do is really determine your art style. Okay, what style of art you're going to do. So I'm going to click on this one so we can kind of see. Art style, a drawing. Okay, so that's the art style. Art styles can be photos, illustrations, those kinds of things. So I started out with the art style, and then the subject is the Cocker Spaniel. Okay, the subject is the Cocker Spaniel. And then we can talk about the pose or the view, right? And so in this one, we went a little bit off, but generally you'll say like facing forward or looking off into the distance. That's the view. Sitting on the carpet, that would be the pose, okay? And of course, I gave details about it. It's a black and white drawing. The dog has long hair, right? I also told it very specific things. This is going to like mood and lighting, right? I don't want any details. I want it to blend with its natural environment. I want it to be hyper defined and a detailed background. So this seems like a lot of information, but when you break down the prompt, okay, when you break down the prompt to a specific structure, you understand where to put things in to get this. And I'm going to break all of this down, right? I'm going to break all of this down in the course because it seems complicated right now, but it's really not. It's really not complicated. Here's the other reason it's not complicated. The other reason that we're going to take some of the complexity out of it is not only am I going to give you prompts, I'm going to show you where to go and find the prompts that you can simply go and edit to get what you're looking for. Okay, to get what you're looking for. Now, who does coloring pages? Somebody said the other day, like, adults color? And I was like, it's such a huge thing, particularly with the movement towards mental health and wellness. It's really what people use to kind of quiet their brain. They give themselves something to do. So not only is coloring popular, but coloring pages, coloring apps. So not just only the physical one, there's a lot of coloring apps. And so people do a lot of coloring. So the thing is, yes. So if you're asking questions about coloring pages, then cool. I'm going to be talking the rest of this week about some other things, coloring styles, how you get the cover for your coloring book. A lot of people think that, oh, you just got to go back and remove the color from a coloring book. I take a slightly different approach. And I'm actually just going to share that with you right now. On this one. Okay. All right. So I started out with the prompt here on the right where it says full color, low detail, illustration, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You can kind of see it says that of a baby giraffe. I came over here and I changed this prompt. Instead of saying full color, it says black and white. Okay. Low detail. Okay. And I put, and I said white and black, and then I said white and black. And there's a reason I said white and black because I want white to be the dominant color versus black. And that's part of that prompt structure sometimes with a white background. Now, is this perfect? It's not. Luckily, the platform that I'm using, and right now I'm using playgroundai.com. That's the new platform that I'll be teaching on the 2nd. It has an editing option where I can actually take this and edit it and take some of the color out of it, and we're still in the same platform. So usually you have to go into a new platform to do this. What I like about this platform is I can come right into this platform and take the color out of it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and desaturate that. Okay, and it took the color out. You see it had the orange nose. I took that color out. So that gives me some of it. And it kind of leaves this more like a coloring page. Now, for some people, They might take the time to change the color of the spots. Um, and I could do that, but you have to do all of that in like a different platform. You can do some things in here and draw it out, but there's a different platform that can take even more of the spots out. But this one takes it right down. And this would definitely be good enough for the people who don't mind grayscale coloring books, which is another new thing. All right. So I'm not going to ramble. I just wanted to kind of introduce you guys. If you don't already know, okay, I am going to be doing this boot camp right here. Discover your AI generated coloring pages. And you can get started now. You want to sign up now because early bird is until Friday. It's only $97. But the price goes up to $147 on Friday because it's a 2-day boot camp. The only thing I should say is that we'll be teaching coloring pages and coloring images. I won't be teaching you how to put together the coloring book because it's just going to take the 2 days for us to just get the images, learn how to do the images, learn how to do cover images, learn how to edit the images, upscale the images, which means make them high resolution. And we're going to be learning all of that. And so in the bootcamp, you'll be learning the basics of images. You'll get the prompt structure that I just showed you. You'll also be getting the best platforms to generate coloring images. I've been generating on Midjourney for about a year. And for coloring pages, I'm choosing a different platform and I'm going to train on that one. We'll talk about coloring page styles, right? You guys saw a few different styles from me, you know, the low detail, the kitty coloring book, the more detailed coloring book. There's coloring pages, there's different coloring pages. And then we'll talk about how you can tweak the prompts to get what you need. And with this new platform, it's much better at generating consistent styles and consistent characters. So it's much better at that. And then, of course, finally, we'll talk about editing, optimizing, and upscaling the images. And let me just show you really quick what I like about it showing the consistent styles. Okay, and so I like my little lion that I created the other day. Let's see if I can find it here. And when he came up, I wanted to create more animals like him. Okay, and so I created more animals like him for that campaign. And then if you look at the hippo, the rabbit, the monkey, the zebra. And so all of these look like they might have been created by the same artist. Okay. And so it does a really good job of creating a consistent style. And it does pretty good with consistent characters as well. So we will be teaching all of this in the class coming up on March 2nd. Go ahead and grab your seat. And that's it. That's all I'm sharing for now. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side.